The space between dream and reality is a curse. These are the words Kenjaku expressed in chapter 160 of Jujutsu Kaisen, and it personally makes me wonder, what is this? What are all of these innate hallucinations spawned from our characters' inner minds in JJK? These events that never happened. Visions born from a person's innermost thoughts, almost like some realization or ascension in some way. Are these just little thematic scenes Gege added to the story, or is it something more to it? Well, today we're going to theorize on what these events actually could be. What's up, brothers? This is Enemy Stand User here, and in today's vid, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts on the possible connection between a person's soul in JJK and this so-called cursed realm that seems to spawn from the inner mind, like a memory or even a final goodbye, something having to do with the soul. Remember that this is only my personal thoughts on the subject, and nothing that we've seen so far, anything like the soul, cursed energy, or the cursed realm really has any concrete proof to ride on. But it's always good to address it because these events happen quite often in JJK, so let's jump right into it. Now, in the series of Jujutsu Kaisen made by Gege Akutami, there's definitely a lot of death that happens, but as far as we can tell, there is no definite afterlife or heaven or anything like that. This isn't a series like Bleach where we have Soul Society or Hueco Mundo, but there actually is hinted a place where curses go called the Wastelands, referred to by Jogo, which I will discuss later on in the video. But there is no foreseeable afterlife in JJK besides a future of only curses in an endless cycle. The Ogami Hag from chapter 93 stated, "We will curse and be cursed and die." And that is how this world in JJK operates. And in this world, cursed energy has the form of three things: people, sorcerers, and cursed spirits. All of these entities are cursed energy in the form of humans, and at the moment they all coexist with one another, using cursed energy as a medium, like some sort of link. Now, I mentioned cursed energy in all three of these forms because all of them have possibly the ability to enter this state I believe to be the cursed realm, a dreamlike sequence that rifts between reality and an illusion. Most of the time in the series, you could call the situation a scene where the character is coming to terms with death or something, referring to the soul or going toward the light, so to speak. It only looks like this happens when really strong emotions are invoked, like love or grief, causing the person to shift to this cursed state of mind. We saw Mai and Maki's beautiful reunion, with Mai's passing and her final gift to her sister on that made-up beach sequence in that scene. And we saw Nanami's final thoughts and his visions on time, and he saw his friend Haibara, and Jogo's finale and his final conversation with the king of Cursed Sukuna, leading to Jogo's death, and finally Nobara's final memories as she quote-unquote dies without regret, thinking of her friends and events in her life. All of these events do not seem to happen in real life and invoke strong emotions to come into light, like a person's true feelings before they sink into eternal darkness and quote-unquote death. But this isn't the case for everyone. Like I said, this only happens most of the time, and other sorcerers have strong emotions that spark events in their minds that never happened, like Toto's brother relationship with Yuji, almost like they were friends for a lifetime, or Chozo's brotherhood connection and how a false memory was born inside of Chozo's mind, causing Chozo's change of heart. These events are still happening today in the Culling games, with Panda losing his other two sibling cores in scenes that I can only describe as unreal, but at the same time they are incredibly solemn, peaceful, like these sequences were supposed to happen even though they don't happen in real life. I won't lie, it really seems like Gege put these scenes in to create some sort of thematic tension and some symbolism in just adding on layers to the story, but there are just way too many instances of these events happening in Jujutsu Kaisen. I feel like there should be some connection or medium like the curse realm for these events to take place in people's quote-unquote hearts or minds or even their very souls. Mahito himself, the cursed spirit, said people don't have hearts, but only souls exist within them. So we actually in the story, we have an instance where a being resides in a soul with a person like Sukuna and his innate domain. Now, Sukuna is such a high-level barrier user that he can create a metaphysical domain inside of Yuji for him to reside in, separating himself from Yuji while also being able to interact between themselves, like he's inside of his heart, so to speak. And this is pretty wild, as no other sorcerer has shown this feat besides an entity like Lord Tengen. I mean, to actually keep your quote-unquote self, your mind, in a innate domain or using barrier techniques. All domain expansions emerge from a person's mind into reality using cursed energy, but unlike any other example, Sukuna can maintain his soul within his self, within his innate domain. This skill actually is what sets Sukuna, Tengen, and Kenjaku apart from everyone else. They have such high usage of barrier techniques that I believe they can enter this realm that separates dream and reality. All three of them have been seen fully interacting and even intruding in this sort of dream state of being. And when you think about Tengen in the tomb of the star, it's just blank and where he resides. And right now, Tengen is not here or there, so to speak. He doesn't exist in this realm. He doesn't interact in this realm. So Tengen is everywhere. Tengen is like the world itself, but is able to hold a form together due to him using barrier techniques. So this is exactly why Tengen is so important in the world of JJK, because he keeps these barriers in Japan in check and optimizes cursed energy only in Japan. However, now, due to Kenjaku bursting into the scene, his control is steadily breaking down due to these barriers with the calling game now that Kenjaku has started. And Kenjaku even has access to this cursed realm as he guides people out of barriers. And finally, with the last example we have with Sukuna actually intruded in on Jogo's moment and talked to Jogo in that realm. Gege really does not give us virtually anything to work off of regarding these events or these made up events in people's minds, but you can't shake Kenjaku's words as he says the space between dreams and reality is a curse. So this rift has to be connected in some way. It's just so similar to what we've been seeing all throughout the manga with events that never happen inside a person's mind. Another thing I like to point out about this space is that this cursed realm could literally be the birthplace of curses. Not where they physically reside, but where that negative emotion and cursed energy builds up to spawn a curse. Remember, humans have to have a certain idea, like something they collectively fear and detest and resent, to give birth to cursed spirits, apparitions, monsters, disease, calamities. All these curses came from humans' fear and resentment as a result of negative energy. So what if all this buildup, this sediment, resides in this realm and crosses over into our world as cursed spirits? I don't imagine it as something completely tangible, but these spirits only exist because humans thought of them, then gave them form. The only reason I point this out is because specifically Jogo pointed out in chapter 111 when he mourned Dagon's death that our souls will continue to circulate and will meet again in the wastelands 100 years from now. So immediately I know this is sounding like some The Path stuff, something like from Bleach or Hueco Mundo stuff, as these spirits never truly die and are used again and are recycled in another form far in the future. And I think this cursed realm is where the spirits circulate, not just to harbor actual souls, but to act as a curse. It's like an endless cycle. So whether it's dreams, thoughts, hate, love, souls, curses, it continues to circulate just out of reach, almost like it's inside the mind. This sort of begins to explain why we see all these character moments, dreams so close to death, and it might just be their inner mind interacting with this cursed realm, manifesting this sort of rift. If this theory is even partly true, then Kenjaku seizing Tengen is a whole lot scarier, as Tengen's control of these barriers outside of this realm could crumble and the evil and darkness of millions would spread throughout the earth with no balance. It'd just be utter chaos. But thank y'all for listening to me and hearing out my theory on this cursed realm. Of course, more info will probably be available as Jujutsu Kaisen progresses, and this whole theory on this dream events could actually just be Gege using some dramatic imagery or symbolism as an author. But I think with the amount of times this has happened, there has got to be something a little bit more to it, especially considering Kenjaku's description of a space between a dream and reality. Also, remember to comment below on what you guys think. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments. But thank you guys for watching. This has been Enemy Stand User, and I'll see you brothers in the next one. Bye-bye.